Welcome back, everybody, to episode 21 of the TalkBall.
My bad. I muted you by accident.
Just muted me, dog. Trying to do my intro here, too.
My fault.
We are back again. As always, I'm your host, Blake McQuarrie, with my co-host, Toussaint Fancher, Jake Mazarski. Boys, how are we feeling today?
Pretty good.
Thursday.
Knicks Elimination Day.
Knicks Elimination Day.
Yeah, it's that time, guys.
Well, when by the time they're watching, they'll be eliminated, so it's fine.
Yeah.
That's true. It was a good run. I'm not even a Knicks fan. It was just cool. It's just cool. Come on. Like.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we'll get into that here soon. But yeah, we have another day talking ball. I'm ready. Let's do this.
Yeah, I'm ready too.
All right. Let's
Talk ball.
All right. First up, a recap of the Western Conference Finals. Oklahoma City Thunder capped it off 4-1. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Magic Johnson Trophy winner.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Conference Finals MVP. What are you guys' thoughts on that series?
Yeah. Wolves blundered. Wolves went under.
Oh,
The Thunder were the hunters.
Mm-hmm.
Thunder in 5.
Gotcha.
OKC is
Okay.
one of the best teams in NBA history.
Yeah.
Assuming they win the finals, which we'll get to that once we get to that. Yeah, I mean, how many of those games were even close besides game 4? Were there any that were close? No, the Thunder blew them out in games 1 and 2, and
No games were close.
yeah, no games were close besides maybe game 4. I don't even remember what the score was, honestly. Yeah, this Thunder team, I mean, there's a reason why they had the best point differential in NBA history. They're going to go down as one of the best defensive teams in NBA history. And, they're ridiculously young and they're ridiculously good. How many games have they lost this postseason? 4? Yeah, 4. They're insane. And they're going to win this championship no matter who gets there, in my opinion. And one more thing. Shai is just as silencing any doubters. Yeah, I mean, not that there were any doubters for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but in the one close game, game 4, where the Thunder won by 2, he went for 40. What did he go for last night? Last night, 34. The guy is absolutely ridiculous. And yeah, no, he has a chance to become the first MVP to win the finals. Since Steph.
Yeah.
Yeah, plain and simple. They're going to the finals.
Yeah, I mean, what can't you say about the Thunder? Really good team, really good defense. They're a swarm on defense. Offensively, they don't miss a step. They get out and run. They really have no weakness. I mean, like I said before the players even began, my weakness was the youth. Mm-hmm. But none of that even matters because their bench is so deep and that Jalen Williams doesn't want to, play. If he doesn't drop 30, then you got Cassandra Wallace who can help, and Aaron Wiggins, and you got Cody Heinrich, who's like the 10th man off the bench, who still gets good minutes sometimes. So it's like, no matter where you look, they have big men, they have guards, they have wings. They're set to win. They're set to win it all and be, a contender for years and years and years. And the thing is, they have 4 first-round draft picks.
Yeah. Their first-round draft pick from last year didn't even play, Nikola Topic.
Yeah.
He's he's playing now, or not playing, he's on the court now. It's just insane how many guys they can't come off the bench outside of Shai and play elite defense and hit threes. I mean, Lou Dort's the one that really makes a difference. He's the best on-ball defender in the league.
Yeah.
He clamps up everyone. I mean, Ant got his bag, obviously. He's Anthony Edwards. But then again, 19 in the conference finals where we said he had to go off. Yeah, they did well against him. And Lou Dort, 4 for 10 from 3. They have so many guys that could do that same exact thing. Maybe not to the defensive quality of Lou Dort, but will put in 100% effort on both sides of the floor. You're talking about Dort. You're talking about J-Dub. You're talking about, Isaiah Joe, Cason Wallace, Aaron Wiggins. There's so many guys, and it just makes them so fun to watch. And then you have the MVP, and you also have the most efficient player in the league in Isaiah Hartenstein.
Yeah, absolutely. They're dangerous on all ends of the floor. In every aspect of the floor, they're dangerous. I think we talked about it. I think I said it last week. It's so tiring when you have Isaiah Joe, Wiggins, and those guys coming off the bench, bro. After you got to deal with Shai and J-Dub and Chet and Hartenstein, that's just ridiculous. And then defensively, they're sound. Absolutely sound. every single player on that team knows how to play defense and how to play defense well.
Yeah, even Shea's playing defense.
No, Shea will lock you up from half court.
Yeah, exactly. And
Shea
how
will lock you up from
many
half
of the
court.
top 10 players in the league actually play defense like that?
Not many.
Not many, right?
Not many, especially not in today's NBA. Not many. So
Brown's not doing it. Luka's not doing it. Giannis barely does it, especially meeting someone at the key. Like, it just doesn't happen. Brunson doesn't do it. Like, it's really impressive.
it is, and so
I will say Cade does it, though.
Cade does do it. But yeah, I mean, they're dangerous, and I mean, we've been saying it all year. I think everyone's been saying it all year. I think it was just really the factor of how young they were. Nobody really believed in them and thought that they were going to fade out at some point, but they've proven that they can be a force in this league for a very long time. And I think, honestly, no matter who they get, I mean, obviously, I think it's going to be Indiana, but no matter who they get, they're going to win the finals. Like, that's just what it is. They've been the best team all year. They have. You can argue Cleveland, but, I mean, you look at it right now, Oklahoma City's obviously been the best team all year. So
Yeah.
yeah. And I wanna shout out Chet though, man. Like that dude is crazy.
He's better than I thought he would
Chet
turn out to be.
Chet is crazy, dude. Like I think all playoffs long, Chet has just been a force, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's their X factor.
No, he is.
Because like
he really is.
Because like he can hit shots. He's 7 foot, so he protects the paint.
Yeah.
Him and Hartenstein both block off the rim. And then when you look at it from a standpoint of, well, he might be a little skinny. It just doesn't matter. The man can shoot. He can dribble. He can finish at the rim. He does everything you ask for. And so I know he was the number 2 pick and he had a lot of expectations. Mm-hmm. He's still a lot better and a lot more impactful than I thought he was going to be.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's really improved his game to be like fitting in the NBA. Because one thing you look at like Wemby or Imani Bates, they look so skinny sometimes. And you're like, I don't know how they're going to fare.
Yeah.
And then you see him now and it's like, it doesn't even matter. He's going up against Randall. He outplayed Julius Randle the entire series.
Yeah. He shut Randall. What game was that? Randall had like, what, 4 points or something like that?
Yeah, Randall had 24 last night, but there was one game where he had...
He had 5.
Was it game 2?
No, not game 5. It might have been game 2.
No, he had 5 points.
Yeah.
He had 5 points. That was like 2.
It was game 2?
Game 3?
Game 4.
Game 4?
Game 4.
It was game 4.
And he
Shut
had
Randall
6
down.
in game 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, Julius Randle, 28-6, 24-5, 24. Yeah, ridiculous. And Chet...
And that's the thing. Julius Randle was having a hell of a postseason.
Oh my God, yeah.
Julius Randle was hooping,
He was
dude.
he wasn't the only reason the Wolves were good, but he was like one of the main reasons the Wolves beat the Lakers and then
He was
beat the
hooping.
Warriors. He
He
was
was
hooping.
hooping.
He's been their number 2, and that's
Yeah.
the thing that the Wolves kind of didn't expect is like they got Julius Randle, and it's kind of like, where do we go from here? We don't have a number 2. We just traded Cat, and that's your number 2, and he played really well in the playoffs. It'll be interesting to see if they either let him go, trade him, or try and get another number 2, because the Wolves have to rebound with a lot of stuff.
I think the Wolves are going to trade for a superstar. I'd love for it to be Kevin Durant, but I don't know how feasible that is because they don't have a lot of first rounders.
Yeah.
But it's very clear they need someone else. Maybe if the Celtics blow... Ow, I just bit my tongue. Maybe if the Celtics blow up the roster, you could see a Derek White or not Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum get moved. Obviously, Tatum's not getting moved. I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
They need another star. And I think they could run it back with this team if they get another star. Because I think everywhere in the West you look, there's a bigger threat and there's a better number 2. And Anthony Edwards has the trajectory to be a top 5 player in the league. But one person cannot get it done unless you're like a 29-year-old LeBron James in this league. That's just the way it is. And anywhere you look, Thunder, Shea, J-Dub, we know what they are. Warriors, Steph, Jimmy, if they're healthy, I'm taking them. They're going to get a big. I think they're going to go after Sabonis and get him.
Yeah.
You look at the Lakers, LeBron and Luka, the Clippers. Is Kawhi and Harden better or close to better than Ant and Randall right now? Like, I probably wouldn't say so. I'd probably
Not in
still
the
go.
playoffs.
Yeah,
I
I'd
like
probably
the
still go.
discussion,
because
though.
Harden.
I like the discussion.
The fact that we're having that discussion when the Wolves are a team that has finals aspirations, that's a little bit of a problem, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, because number 1, you look at Ant, and Ant just the last 2 games, it didn't look like he wanted to be out. He didn't want to be the man.
Yeah.
Like, if you're getting paid the bag, if you're the number one, if you're talking all the shit, you got to step up to the plate. And that means going and dropping 40 in an elimination game when your team needs you. And he said that in game 4, he said, I didn't struggle. Well, sir, if you take 2 shots in the first half and end up with, 16? He ended up with like 60 in that game. That's the definition of struggling. I don't care if you didn't take the shots. That's the point. You're the guy who's supposed to be taking the shots. If Conley's taking the shots, it's like, okay, well, Conley's taking the shots. Why is Conley taking the shots? If you got other players, you're the guy. Right?
Exactly.
You're the superstar. You're supposed to be the guy that's supposed to be putting up 30 shots a game.
Yeah, I'm not going to overreact too much to this Wolves performance. I think this Thunder were going to steamroll whoever they played.
Yeah, no.
And like you go look
Wolves
at you go look at receipts from us saying like the Lakers would beat the Thunder, and like we all were wrong. We're clear with that. But like what I will say about the Wolves is that might have not that I genuinely think last year against Dallas was their best shot, because the West is going to keep getting better. Like going into next season, unless the Wolves trade for a superstar, I mean, I would take a healthy Dallas team with Cooper Flagg, Anthony Davis, and Kyrie Irving over them. I would take,
but they would have to be
that's
super
interesting.
No, yeah,
I would take.
But see, that's the cattle. That's
interesting.
I would too, but if they're healthy, Kyrie gets hurt, AD gets hurt.
That's why I said if. And another one that I'll say, if they're healthy, San Antonio with Fox, Wemby, and I know you guys don't think they're gonna get Dylan Harper, but say they draft Dylan Harper right now.
I mean, the way all the experts are talking, like it's like they are gonna get Dylan Harper, which I don't understand.
I understand it, and we could do that another time, but like say the Wolves do nothing this offseason, say none of their trades work out, they trade maybe like Dante away or someone like that, a role player. Are you taking Ann and Julius Randle, or are you taking Wemby in year 3, De'Aaron Fox, and D-Harp, Castle? Like, that's a discussion you could have. And
it is.
We don't need to have it.
I think I would still take the Wolves.
Because Ant's a bad motherfucker.
Exactly.
And that's fair.
And that's why I chose them over OKC.
Is there. Like, I would have to see how San Antonio plays next year.
But that's fair, and we could definitely have that discussion. And I would probably still say Minnesota too. But like the point I'm trying to make, and you guys get it, like the West is so wild, and the Wolves, like, they're not going to have as many shots. And like going into next year, like, what are they? The 5th best team in the West right now going into next season? Like, at the start of next season, Thunder, Lakers, Warriors if they get a big. And so Nuggets if they trade
Rockets,
for a star. Rockets. I mean, the West is just so unpredictable. And so for the Wolves, it's just like, make a move or you're screwed. And that's not only them, it's any team, because the Thunder are just so much better than everyone else.
I have confidence they'll do something. I mean, Tim Connolly did a pretty bold thing of trading Cat. People are like, well, where are you going to get your star power from if you don't have a number 2? And it worked out pretty well for them in the long run, getting to the Western Conference Finals. And Connolly knows how to build a team. I mean, he built the team at Denver. He knows how to build a team. So I have no doubt that they'll trade for somebody to help Ant.
Totally.
Who it is going to be a real interesting question. What Sham said, this might be the most interesting offseason in a long time, just because every team needs to trade. Like, every team in the West needs a trade.
Out of all the stars that are potentially available, who do you guys want to see go to Minnesota?
But that's the thing. Is like there's not a lot of free agents, so it's like who's available.
Trades.
Okay, I mean the obvious one is KD.
Yeah, especially because that's Ant's favorite player of all time.
Yeah, I'd like to see KD. I'd say I'd like to see a point guard go there.
Yeah,
they do need a
Mike
point guard.
Conley's on the way out.
I just don't know. I don't know what point guards are going to be free agents though.
I mean, you could get a rental of Chris Paul. Maybe
I know one.
Get a rental in Chris Paul.
LaMelo.
He's not gonna be a free. He's gonna be free agent this summer.
Not a free agent, but they might trade him.
They're gonna need a bag.
Yeah, I want them to trade LaMelo. That's a different discussion.
That would LaMelo and Ant work?
Yeah,
and you want to that would be really cool.
That would be real nasty.
That would be fun. That would be wild.
Those
really
are great
nasty.
hoops to watch.
Okay, now that I okay, yeah.
But do we think that Charlotte's going to trade their one piece?
No, I
depends
think I think there's a good possibility they trade LaMelo.
But they would need a bag though for him.
They need a bag, but they also have the number 4 pick. So if Ace falls to 4 or VJ Edgecombe or Jeremiah Fears and they want to build around that guy and get a package, it's not like Charlotte's this team that's dead in the water like Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And Brooklyn's not dead, but we'll talk about that. Like, it's possible for sure. Another one I could see, except the money obviously sucks, but if the Celtics really are blowing up their core, I'd like to see Jaylen Brown go there.
That would be nasty.
That would be nasty.
That would be nasty.
Especially because the Wolves have so much defensive compensation to make up for the fact that Jaylen Brown is like not the best in that end of the floor. But I think that would work too. That would be disgusting. That would be disgusting. But then again, I don't think Jaylen Brown gets traded. I think that's a rarity.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
One point I want to bring up again about the Thunder real quick, off-season wise. It's scary because they have 2 first-round draft picks.
Yeah.
Coming up in this year's.
Yeah. Well, they're
That's
gonna trade.
ridiculous.
They're probably gonna trade those draft.
I mean,
picks.
yeah, but like that's the
Because
thing.
like, what are you gonna do with those draft picks? You already won the title, and now you're gonna add
Yeah,
some more.
but that's the thing though. They have 2 first-round draft
It's
picks, so they're
ridiculous.
going to trade them,
For
and they're
a-
going to get even more. Like that's what's scary about
Sam
it.
Presti over a decade
No
has
matter
really
what
set
they
them
do
up
with
for,
those-
Yeah, genuinely.
for a
No matter what they
dynasty.
do with those draft picks, the Thunder are going to get better.
Sam Presti has really set them up.
Like, they're gonna
They
get
literally
better.
can't get worse. They
No.
literally can't get worse.
No, they're going to get better no matter what they do with those draft
They're the
picks. That's
youngest
what's
team in the
scary.
NBA.
That's why I brought it up. It's scary.
I think like they're going to win the finals, so I don't think they're going to do it. But if they lose the finals in convincing fashion, I do think they'd trade for Giannis. But I don't think they're going to lose the finals. And
I don't want them to trade for Giannis though.
I don't think they're
I don't
gonna-
want them
just
to.
feel like
I don't
it's-
want them to.
That's
either.
just gonna blow up their. That's just gonna blow up their core and what they have going on. Like
Yeah, I don't think
I
they're
think
gonna get a superstar.
even if they lose the finals, why would you trade for?
they're not gonna
Giannis?
go get a superstar. They're gonna get a star.
No, like you go get a star, like good role players.
2 superstars is gonna ruin Shea's impact in game
Yeah,
for that team.
That's what I'm saying. So like I don't see them getting Giannis. I think that's out of the picture actually. I just feel like that's just gonna blow their whole thing up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, I think those are all good conversations. It's going to be a wild offseason for sure.
Yeah, Wild Wild West.
Yeah. And then there's the not so wild East. I
Move
guess.
over to the boring East, the cold, boring East.
Yeah.
I'm going to go down with the Knicks no matter where they go. I'm still going to say Knicks in 7 even if I don't
Wow.
believe it because I'm just going to go down with the ship. Yeah, Jesus, I don't think anybody
What the
knew
Hallie?
Pacers.
What
I don't
the
think
Hallie?
anybody knew the Pacers
What
were
the
going to be.
Haliburton?
Yeah, I don't think anybody knew the Pacers were going to be this good.
Nope.
No, not at all.
Impossible.
No, not at all. And like I was talking to my friends about it, and I'm like, I don't know what it is about the Pacers, but like all year coming into this year, and like, especially postseason, I just didn't like them. Like I had no reason not to like them. I just didn't like them, and I think a part of it was like Haliburton and like the amount of shit he was talking. And I don't know. I never understood why he was talking so much shit throughout the whole year. But now I understand.
Now you gotta get it.
Now I understand. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan, but this series made me like him.
Oh no,
This series made me like him.
I liked him.
Like,
when he did the
I
choke,
was like, hold on.
When he did the choke, I
did
was
it.
like-
the choke did it. That's
No,
what
it was-
really did it.
It was hilarious because when the ball went up,
And then
I
he
said,
pointed at Reggie.
No, when the ball went up,
Yeah.
I said that ball's gonna come down. It went through. I said, oh my
No,
god!
and he did the choke. I said, oh, okay, hold on.
That was the
I
perfect
said,
moment.
okay, this is a cold little dude right here. This is a cold little dude right here.
Yeah.
But no, nobody's seen 3-1.
No.
I mean, it's probably going to be 4-1 after tonight.
Yeah, I think.
Or I have faith in New York tonight because they're back home.
I think they're gonna win tonight, but they're gonna lose in Indy.
Yeah, I just
I
can't.
don't think they're going to win.
I just
lose
can't see
4-1,
them.
but-
Well, it's the typical thing where it's what's it called? I can't see them winning at the Garden again, but then again they won at the Garden twice. It's sort of like the Cleveland series too. It's literally the exact trajectory of the Cleveland series, which is Pacers win a shocking game in game 1,
Yeah.
take the lead. Game 2, they win a game that they should have won, but it wasn't
Yeah.
like a shocking result. And then game 3, game 3 the Cavs blew the Pacers out. Game 3 for the Knicks, they came back from 20, and then
Yeah.
game 4, Pacers shut everybody up. They're just like, we're not going to fold. And then in game 5, it's just like, does this team that was the favorite have a chance to get back in it? Yeah, of course. But if the Pacers could shut them up in their own arena, it's crazy. And my friend put it really well. I was in Toronto, and he goes, the Pacers can shoot 70% from the parking lot, go
Yeah.
to sleep, and then do the same thing the next day. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous.
It is.
It is ridiculous. And then, like, the last thing, and then I'll turn it over. Do you guys remember when Malcolm Brogdon got traded to the Celtics and Bleacher Report posted, like, this was the return, and it was the SpongeBob paper clips?
Yeah.
That turned into Aaron Nesmith.
Yeah.
So, no, that was great. That was great. As much as I don't love Tyrese Haliburton, but I love watching him play basketball.
Yeah.
He's not even the most fun person to watch on that team. Like, I genuinely any of those guys, whether it's Siakam when he gets in his bag like in game 2, Nesmith hitting 6 threes, Andrew Nembhard doesn't miss sometimes, Benedict Mathurin, his minutes are dwindling down. He was one of my favorite college players to watch in the past 5 years when playing. They're just enjoyable.
Yeah,
they're just enjoyable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and good for Indy, but then again, I'll go down with the ship. Knicks, show us what you made of.
I think so with the way that Haliburton's been playing, there's been a lot of talks. There's going to be a real nasty agenda. Like, real nasty agenda if the Pacers end up somehow winning the NBA Finals.
Oh, of course.
Because they're already talking about, is Tyler Haliburton a top 10 player in the league? And
I don't know about
if they win the finals. He's absolutely
that's extreme.
If they win the finals, you might have to. It's like Jalen. It's like Jalen Hurts because he won the title. You have to respect him.
I don't.
And put him
I
in
don't
the top
even think
five.
it's.
I'm
not top 5. I'd say top 10 for sure because like you're talking about. Say they win the finals. He went through Giannis, who he outplayed. He went through Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, who he outplayed. He went through Jalen Brunson, who I guess he's out. It's close with him and Brunson, but he beat Jalen Brunson. And then if he is the number one on a team that beats the team that beats the team that has the big.
Damn.
Wait, all right, guys, wait. If he is the number one, if he is the number one on the team that beats the Thunder, who have the best point differential in NBA history, and like, that's crazy. Yeah, dude, I'm having a little bit of a moment here, but like, you guys,
right.
Yeah, Jesus fucking Christ.
The team that.
If the Pacers beat the Thunder, I don't know how you don't put Haliburton in the top 10.
No, yeah, I think he's top 10 as well. I have to give him his respect.
I can't do it.
Who would you put over him?
As far as point guards go, I'll tell you Brunson for sure.
Yep.
Luka's still above Tyrese Haliburton.
Yep. Steph?
I mean, Luka. Okay, wait a minute. We're getting real subjective with point guard here because then we're gonna be like, well, Bron's a point guard. I don't know. I know Luka. Luka's not. I don't really list him as a point guard, even though I know he's a ball handler.
Okay, see, that's the thing though. My thing is like a year ago, I didn't see Luka as a point guard, but he keeps listing himself as a point guard every single year.
He's a point guard on that
So
team.
I like, what are we doing with him? Is he a point guard or is he not?
I guess.
If he's not a point guard, then I won't put him in there.
I just don't see him as a point guard. I see him as
fine.
I see Luka as a guard, as a tall guard.
Put him in there,
I see him as a combo guard to me. But that's
if you're talking about pure
I think
point
Cade's
guards,
better than Tyrese.
Right now, I don't, but I think we'll have this conversation next year again, and I think he will be.
I can't deny what Tyrese has been doing. So
Man,
I would say I'd take him.
I'd say Tyrese. I'd say right now Tyrese is the second best point guard in the East.
I don't get me wrong. I think Tyrese is really good. I think it's just one of those runs right now where he's feeling it and he's hot.
Very possible.
I think that's just what it is.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing. That's the thing I was talking about. Jalen Hurts.
My thing is like 3 weeks ago, we wouldn't have been talking about Tyrese Haliburton being a top 10 player.
Okay, but this is, like I said, this is similar to Jalen Hurts. Nobody had Jalen Hurts like as that top echelon quarterback, and then he beat the defending champs who were going for a three-peat, and it was like he won Super Bowl MVP, and then it was like, well, now we have to give him his respect.
I feel like that's invalid with me because I think I had Jalen Hurts as a top 5 quarterback going.
He did, and there's a receipt there.
I had Jalen Hurts.
But I'm just saying with everyone else didn't have him as a top 5 quarterback,
Okay.
and then he won, and then everyone was like, whoa, top 5. And it's like, if you win the title, you have to get that respect, especially going through the path they went. There is not a single human being outside of a Pacers fan who said the Pacers were going to go to the finals.
Yeah, no.
And so what he's doing to get there, I understand. He went through Cleveland, like he said. He went through Cleveland, who was a favorite.
He's having a hell of a run, is what I'm saying.
He beat Milwaukee and Cleveland in 5, and you might beat New York in 5.
But last year
he was the team on the road.
Okay, think about it. Last year, if he doesn't get hurt, could he still beat the Knicks? Yes. If he doesn't get hurt.
If Haliburton doesn't.
If Haliburton doesn't get hurt, do they win more effectively?
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, the Knicks got hurt.
I don't know
too.
about that one.
The Knicks did get hurt,
got hurt.
but the Knicks are also not hurt in this series, and he's still doing what he's doing.
He's still doing what he's doing, but also like you're talking about the Knicks. The Knicks like
Plus, he got them to the Eastern Conference semifinals last year.
finals.
Finals.
So why weren't we talking about this then?
Because people don't
Months
respect
ago is what I'm
Indianapolis. People don't respect the Pacers. All time, people don't respect the Pacers. They've had one all-time player and some really good other players. You know, you could say Jermaine O'Neal's all-time, but Reggie Miller is an all-time player, and that's it. That's all we think about the Pacers.
Yeah.
Is Reggie Miller. That's it. There's nobody else that you're like, oh, Pacers, yeah, historic franchise. You say Reggie Miller and that's it. So then you got this guy who comes along and he's playing for the Pacers. Historically, you're not going to be like, oh, my goodness, the Pacers. Like, it's Minnesota. No one thinks Minnesota's that great. It's Ant who's powering that team along.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he's going to have to show me a little bit more.
That's valid. That's
I
very
want to
valid.
see what he does in the finals.
Do you think he's a superstar?
Yeah.
Because that's another question I've been hearing. Is he a superstar? Because I said Donovan Mitchell wasn't to me, and it's like Haliburton is in that, like, I'm still.
But Donovan Mitchell's more proven, though, and he's been more proven over time. And
Donovan Mitchell's never been to this point, and Haliburton's done it twice.
There's a valid point there.
And can we argue that Haliburton, I mean, this team is good. The Pacers team is good. I'm not saying they're bad, but, like, I feel like Donovan Mitchell's had comparable help to Tyrese Haliburton in his career as a team-wise.
More help?
I don't say more, comparable.
Okay.
Around the same.
I would say in Cleveland, yes.
I say in Cleveland he has more help.
Utah, absolutely not.
Okay,
I still think Cleveland's a better roster than Indiana.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Utah, I agree, he did not.
But then again, though, also, like, my thing is, if it wasn't for Aaron Nesmith, Pacers would have went down 0-1. This could have been a different conversation.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
true, but if you could also argue for Cleveland, if Garland, Mobley, and who else was injured? Someone else was injured for those, like, game 1. Was it a game 3 they were out, like, sitting like 2-3 players?
Yeah.
You could argue, oh, well, if they're all healthy, Cleveland wins the series, but they're not, and that's the part of basketball is you get injured in the playoffs. You play big minutes, you play hard. That's just what it is. That's the thing is you could play the what-if game, but Tyrese Haliburton is here right now. He's got the 3-1 lead. He's about to go to the finals, and he went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. If he does it again, it's undeniable. But
I just say but think
about
see
it.
what he does in the finals.
30, 12, and 15 with no turnovers. He threw 77 passes for like 400
No, that
yards.
was elite. Very good game.
Yeah. That's an
Very
elite
good game.
performance.
Hey, we'll see what he does. I still think, I don't know. I'm not going to say the Knicks are going to win this series, but I'll go down with the ship. I think Brunson's going to put the team on his back tonight. And I think in game 6.
I think Knicks win tonight for sure.
Yeah, I think they win tonight.
Game
But
6
it's over, though.
They're not winning in Indy.
No team in the East has ever come back from a 3-1 deficit in the conference finals.
I know.
They're not winning in Indy,
I know.
too.
Perhaps.
When
And they
get
don't
back,
got Bron.
When they get back to Indy, oh
don't
my
got Bron,
goodness,
bro.
that place is going to be rocking.
Yeah, no, Indy's gonna be insane.
Indy's gonna be
Pat McAfee might go off a line of coke.
He
for
might
that
do
one.
a backflip on mid.
You heard what he said. He trolling Ben Stiller and Timothy Chalamet and Spike Lee and them.
Yep.
So, but to me, I think
might.
to me, Tyrese Haliburton is like he's one of those guys that when I look at him, I can feel the superstar power. I don't know if he's top 10 in the league now. If he wins the finals, for sure. But like for me, I look at him and I'm like,
Maybe-
because he does everything that his team needs. Like every time I see him in the playoffs,
he
he's
does.
doing what he needs to do.
He does.
That's what a superstar is to me. He shows up every single time. He plays above his
He
skis.
does. I just think it's a little too early for us to be calling him top 10 player in the league. Though.
Oh no,
I
top
just
10.
think that's insane.
I can agree with you that maybe he's not a top 10 player, but I
think that's insane.
But superstar, I think he's got like a foot in the door. He's like handing the bouncer like the 20 to
No,
step in.
superstar. Like I'm not arguing that for sure.
Yeah.
I think
No, not top 10.
the thing about superstars
top
is
15
it
though.
comes down to like what do you define a superstar in the NBA? Like it depends on what you define as a superstar in the NBA.
To me, he's in line for that club. Like
I would say yeah.
Like the line is moving.
Yeah.
People are getting
Top
out of
10 is
line.
just crazy,
He's
though.
pulling the ID
Yeah,
out
yeah,
like he's
yeah.
getting in.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, yeah, where do the Knicks go from here? Do they just run it back?
They either run it back or trade for Giannis.
Yeah, it's the Giannis thing that's really.
Yeah.
They have
now
to
that's
me
gonna be
they have the
interesting.
best shot at Giannis because they can offer Cat, which
can
I think
offer
Milwaukee would love.
That would be very interesting.
They can offer their draft picks. There's some
McHale.
guys on the there's some guy they could trade Deuce McBride. They could offer some guys. I think Milwaukee'd be like, all right.
No, it would be interesting.
And he wants to stay in the Eastern Conference and on the Eastern East Coast. He wants to stay on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Giannis to New York would be disgusting.
It would be interesting.
gross.
I feel like though also, well, I don't know, because now you look at it, and then it's like, if you're New York, do you really want to try to risk keeping that team if you can get Giannis, and having the potential risk of okay, after this season or next season, I'm gonna have to pay all these guys, and then you could lose out on either Mikal.
Well, yeah, but this is also like why Brunson took a $114 million pay cut.
Yeah.
So they could pay these guys. And I think they'll pay Giannis if they get him. And I think they made it so far to the conference finals at this point. But next year, if they run it back, are you really... Well, I guess Boston, Tatum's out the entire season. But where do the Knicks enter next year? And so, just like, if you get Giannis, you're the favorite. And... You're the favorite in the East if they get Giannis.
Also, the other thing is you got to think about the Tibbs situation. Another year of Tibbs. He fell a little short.
That's also the thing. Do you run it back with Tibbs?
That's the thing that I've been saying.
Yeah, they made the conference finals. They can't fire Tibbs.
I mean, that's true. But it's like the thing where Tibbs can only get you to a certain point in his career.
He does.
That's the thing. He can't win you the title as of right now. He has not shown he can win the title. He's shown that he can push you to the conference finals and get you as far as possible. But at some point, his strategy... It
deteriorates.
Yeah,
I think Giannis and Brunson could win you a final though, no matter who the coach is.
Oh yeah,
no matter who especially in the East. Like who in the East would be better than the Knicks with Giannis and Jalen Brunson? Nobody.
They might have a better record, but nobody's better than them.
I genuinely think that Giannis and Jalen Brunson might be the two best players in the East.
I mean, Giannis
might be.
Giannis at his worst is the second best player in the world, so there's not a single team that would be like, oh, we wouldn't trade half our bench for Giannis.
Yeah, and the one other untouchable guy they'll have is Josh Hart. Yeah. So you're going into next year if they trade for Giannis, Brunson, Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson, assuming that they don't package both bigs, and then I don't know who
and
else,
you look at their game plan right now, they don't have anybody that can work the paint. Like Mitchell Robinson can get offensive rebounds and put it up. Cat can get there, but Cat's he's a little iffy in the paint sometimes. You get Giannis, you own the paint. And then you look at Brunson, you own everything else. Brunson's a great mid-range. He's a great clutch shooter. You let Giannis drop 40, and then you let Brunson just drop 30, and Brunson's just, he's living pretty. And then Brunson closes the game because he's got the shot.
And this isn't even what's the word I'm looking for? Offending Cat, I guess. Cat's had a great year, and he's had a fine playoffs. Giannis was putting up Magic Johnson numbers in the second half of this season.
No, he was.
Playing arguably...
He was going stupid,
Yeah, he was arguably playing the best basketball of his career. And this is a guy that averaged
crazy.
45 in the finals. And so, if you're the Knicks, go get him. If you're any team, go get him. He's obviously the biggest prize.
Yeah.
And so, if you're the Knicks, too, if you lose in overwhelming fashion in the conference finals... And Giannis wants to come there, and he's never going to say, come get me, but go get him.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. You're going to have to, if you're the Knicks, you're going to have to say, hey, you're going to have to you might have to do some illegal tampering to try and get him. Because he's too nice of a guy to be like, I want out, trade me to this place. Yeah. But if they give him a pitch like, hey, you, Brunson, in New York, we really run this up. Maybe if you want a specific coach, we'll let go of Tibbs. Give him the pitch. Mm-hmm. I think Giannis can be convinced to go to the Knicks. Yeah. If they're like, hey, we just went to the conference finals and we didn't have you. So with you, we're probably going to make it, Yeah. So, and we get you help and you don't waste the next 5 years.
And you're in a much worse conference. Yeah. Much worse conference.
Yeah. You can always go to the finals, always. Especially with Brunson as his guy. It's locked in. So I really hope he does go to the Knicks. I'm not going to lie. My tweaker of the week, Anthony Edwards. You had 16 points in game 4. Game 4, you had 16 points. Let me check if it was game 4.
Why the hell did they keep shooting threes?
Yeah, no, see, that's the problem.
My question.
That's the problem. I was going to get to that. He has 16 points. All right, let's look at this.
You got to go quickly, though.
All right.
I'm taking my headphones off and starting to go.
All right, he had 16 points. The man was terrible, and then he says, "Oh, I wasn't struggling." Bro, you had 2 shot attempts in the first half. What do you mean I wasn't struggling? And you're shooting all these threes. If you don't get to the rim, you're 6'4" and you can jump above everybody. If you don't get to the rim, crash it and do good there, bro.
Not a good 3-point shooting team either, and all they did was shoot threes.
I know, that's the thing. You got Julius Randle chucking up threes, bro, built like LeBron, bro. Get to the rim. You got Rudy Gobert, who's 7'2". Stop shooting threes. Get to the rim. So it's absolutely ridiculous. Go ahead.
Mine is Julius Randle that you just brought up. 6 points in game 3. Oh, no, that was game 2. Game 2, 6 points. That's terrible. on 18% from the field.
Yeah,
and
bad.
then 5 points in game 4 when you needed to win that game. That was a must win, absolutely must win. And he puts up a whopping 5 points on 14% from the field goal percentage. What?
Yeah, it was bad. He was
I'm
bad.
having a hard time fathoming that right
He
now.
quit on the team. He quit.
So him and Tom Thibodeau, you can't do it. You still can't do it. You keep trying, you can't do it. I don't know what else you need. You can't do it. So that's all we got though. Quick episode for you guys. Comment your finals predictions, winners. As always,
Thunder.
stay fly.